Hi, and
Hey.
welcome back to Holy Heck. This is episode 8. I am your co-host, Katie.
And I am Grace. Wow. Hi.
Yep. So, context for this episode.
Yeah.
We just recorded episode 7.
Yeah, we did.
Like what, an hour ago?
Pretty much.
Less than that.
We were having a really good convo before we started that episode.
Yes.
And I basically was like, you know what? We should kind of do like a bit of a free flow episode and just talk about that instead.
Yeah. And I am nervous too.
Yeah.
So.
That's kind of the preface.
Yeah.
You know?
That's where we're at.
We'll get into it. What did we do this morning?
We tried a new church.
Yeah, we did. Let's talk about our experience with the new church. Let's go into depth. I want to know everything about it, what we thought, each of our thoughts, and then we can get to the why we tried a new church.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that eventually. What did you think of the new church?
I loved it. I've been Catholic, I've been Presbyterian, I've done Foursquare, I've done all these different kinds of denominations, and this building was beautiful. I mean, it had the stained glass windows.
It was gorgeous.
It's like in a very busy part of town, which I really love. And I just I love the old buildings, and I liked the way that they did their service.
Yeah.
A lot. I liked that when you look online at their videos and stuff like that, worship isn't included. Mm-hmm. It's just the message. I really like that. Because I get, we've talked about this again on episode 6. I don't like worship being recorded. I find it really weird. So I like that it's not. For communion, they had us just gather together with 2 or 3 other people that were in our row or around us and pray for one another. And I loved that. That felt so personal to me.
It was.
What are some things that you liked about it?
Yeah. Again, I noticed there was no cameras up in any of the worship leaders' faces. And so that one was a pretty big one for me as well that I would just notice. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Of course, the building's beautiful. Again, looking at some of the stained glass, I actually took a picture of one because I was like, I want to paint this. It looked beautiful. Yeah. The building itself, beautiful. The area of town, beautiful. However, I think my initial reaction and Kyle and I's initial reaction to the church was really different.
Yeah.
We kind of left and we're like, I don't know how I feel. But we were like, let's talk about it and let's see the why. Because it's not a negative, I don't know how I feel. It was just a plain, I don't know how I feel.
Yeah.
Because again, a little backstory. I've mentioned this before, but Kyle and I have both grown up in very American non-denominational churches. And the reason I add the American in there will make sense because the church we went to today, again, it was wonderful. It was a very biblical message. So none of that was a worry on theology, and we've read the mission statement.
I loved the message.
It was great.
Low-key loved the message.
Yeah.
I learned so much that I feel like I didn't know before. And I love that.
Good.
So.
Yeah. So the message, it was great. But we both were sitting in the car and we're like, why? Let's form our thoughts. What are we thinking? Why are we thinking this? And so we both kind of were like, this church, it feels like a church that you would find in Europe.
Really?
That's what we had said. Because I've gone to, again, in my mission trip in Ukraine, with a couple of the churches there, it felt very similar. Okay. But I think that maybe because, again, a lot of the buildings and the churches we were at were very Orthodox style churches. Yeah. And even we just passed by even some Catholic looking churches. And I think, anyways, so it just felt like that kind of look and feel. And so that's why we say it didn't feel like a normal, American church. You go walk into a church and it's a very heavy, strong, male presence, announcements, and I don't mean that in a negative way either. Big worship, it's almost production. You see the cameras, you see people streaming things. Again, not that any of that is inherently wrong, but it just felt so opposite.
Different.
And this one just felt so quiet. It felt comfortable. It felt like a community. Yeah. And so we were both sitting there and we're like, I think that's why we just feel different about it, because it's not a bad different. It's just a different in the sense that it's uncomfortable because we don't normally attend churches like this. And so we're like, is that a bad or is that a good thing? Yeah. We tried a different church a couple weeks ago and it was great. It was a very comfortable church. It was this feels like churches we've gone to. And so we're like, that church felt more comfortable than this church. However, this church that we tried, I think would push us in a new way to grow in our faiths and in our community than any other comfortable church. I think if we went to a comfortable church, we would sit and we would attend and we would be congregants. But this church already, how we left today, we're like, well, I want to know more about this. I want to know more about this. Why do they do this? I want to know the history of this place too. Yeah. And so immediately we both were like, we think it would be really good for us in an area that the Lord can grow us and can stretch us, as opposed to being like, oh, well, this is comfortable, you know? So anyways, that's kind of what we formed our final thoughts on. Again, it's Palm Sunday today. And so we want to attend a few more messages when it's like not an Eastery like style
not Holy
service.
Week.
Yeah, not Holy Week. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I think I had said this last episode, 2 episodes ago, whatever. I've been struggling with the hopelessness.
Yeah.
And then I started kind of feeling hopeful. And to be honest, a lot of that was really hard to get to.
Yeah.
I mean, I had talked about my convictions the last couple of episodes being that I was idolizing the church, and that came crashing down on me. I had a lot of issues with that kind of stuff. And so I think I had kind of like lost hope that I would ever find a church that I was like happy in.
Yeah.
Not because, like, I am unable to see past issues.
Yeah.
Like, I'm totally fine seeing past, like, the humanness of people.
Of course.
I think that it hit me that it was, like, I wouldn't ever find a church that, like, could accept that in me. If that makes sense. Like, I'm okay accepting that, like, people are human and, like, stuff sucks.
Yeah.
And, like, grace exists for a reason.
Yeah.
And as long as people are, like, above reproach in the idea of, like, they're willing to take accountability, apologize, and, like, do better next time. Like, I don't really care. Because that's all of us. It's a human struggle. But I haven't received that back. And so, yeah, that's been really hard. I kind of lost a lot of hope in that. And this church in particular, I was really excited for. Because, again, if I had my ideal church, like, it would probably be, like, a Catholic church that had a little bit more critical thinking. like, I think that's where I would land. I love the service structure. I love the sacraments. I love all of that stuff without the hive mindset of, like, why do we believe in this weird stuff that we don't need to?
Yeah.
That would be my ideal, but my husband's is, like, the complete opposite. And so it has been really hard. Like, I've been compromising in that area of our marriage for the entire time that we've been together. Like, I've just always gone to, like, whatever he's most comfortable in, because his ministry is his calling. And, like, mine can exist wherever we go. And so, like, I put a lot of hope in this new church of, like, I think this will be perfect. Like, I think it's going to be, like, the best middle ground for both of us, because it is very, like, traditional in a lot of senses, but it is also very modern in a lot of senses. And so I felt like it was a really good in-between for me. And so I loved it. I loved the building. I thought everything was so cute and thoughtful and, like, very detail-oriented and thoughtfulness, and I loved that. But my husband had the same thoughts as you when he walked out. Like, he was just like, this is just not what I'm used to, and I'm not comfortable in it. That doesn't mean it's wrong, but I think I heard I'm not comfortable in it, and I just, like, lost it again. And that was that whole thing I talked about last week of, like, 2 weeks ago for episode. Of, like, the littlest tiny thing will, like, throw my entire hope out the door. And so, like, he had said, like, like, it wasn't where I was comfortable, but, and then he followed it up with, like, I still feel like this is where we're supposed to be for right now. Littlest thing just completely tossed my hope out the window, and that was today. That was hard. So.
Yeah, I know, like, kind of along similar lines, something else that Kyle and I had said about this church was that I don't think that we were worried about anything being unbiblical at the church. I think it's going to call out a lot of norms that we have developed that are probably unbiblical when it comes to, like, churches and when it comes to, like, our
what are some of
communities.
those? What are some of those?
Yeah, that's a hard question. I guess, like, my norms, as silly as it is, it's like I'm, like, used to worship being a production. I'm used to there being enough seats for absolutely everybody. Like,
and plenty more.
Plenty more. Like, I'm used to it being so, like, nailed down to the wire when it comes to staff of, like, okay, we know you sit here and you agree, you usher people. It's a flow for fish to follow, basically, is what normal.
Like, almost like an entire, like, machine.
Where it's like someone's walking in, bounce, they get here, then here, then here. Oh, I'm sitting and I'm ready for message. Like, it's,
and you've got your new mug and your new pens and your little gift bag, and you've filled out your Connect card, and everything is done.
And then at the end, you drop off your Connect card, you say hi to someone, and you leave. And that's it. Like,
it is. It's like an event.
Yeah. That's what the norm typically feels like to me. And again, like, I've been a believer for pretty much my whole life, and so has Kyle. And so when we like have attended churches, like I've volunteered in a coffee shop before, but again, I've been really open on here about how like I've had a really hard time finding ministries in churches to be a part of. And yeah, so I don't know, that was like one of the norms that felt normal to me.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, and coming to this church today, I just wasn't met with that. I was met with like, oh, you see people like shuffling in and talking and like the church, there was way too many people to fit in the building, but like there wasn't.
Nobody was rushing in either.
No.
People were like hanging out front
like
for like
just
a while. Yeah, people were like loitering around outside for a long time too. Like even after it started and stuff.
And walking in, one of the greeters, it was a father and his 2 kids, and the 2 kids were probably like 5. And they had their own little badges with their names on them. And again, I've gotten used to like areas of ministry almost become a production where it's like, maybe not your kids, but you can. And just to see them being like, and it was a little boy who looked at me this morning and was like, good morning. And I was like, good morning.
Yeah. I think that's been a weird thing for me too. Like I didn't even notice it really. But now that you mention it, like kids in particular, there were so many kids in service. Oh, we sat with so many babies.
That's
and like they were
one.
making noise and like it was what it was, but there was no like, hey, if you've got a loud, rowdy kid, go to this area, the cry room. And you're like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry, my kid's a burden. Like
because it felt like it was like family church. Like it wasn't just
people.
Like there was a lot of young people, a lot of young families, and like the family area too. Like our kid like loved it. Like he was so ecstatic to be there and like did not blink once that we left him. And I was like, oh, this is weird. And again too, like even down there, everything felt so very intentional and detailed. It wasn't like clean cut conference style. Like it was very like
it felt homey.
It felt really homey, but not in a like this is 80 years
not
old.
Not in an eclectic kind of way.
And grandmas did it. You know what I mean? It felt like a very like, no, people were just really careful and intentional.
Intentional is the word that it's coming in my head about it.
Yeah.
Again, like we walked in and like I had come with you guys downstairs when you went to go pick up Tay, and there was like a cool garage door for like a little bit of the older kids, and like you said, everything was like decorated all cool. I was like, man, if I was their age, I'd be like, Mom, I want to go play in there.
No, like I wanted to go play in there now.
Seriously.
But yeah.
And same thing with the kids' room. Like, and what I thought was neat, I mean, I don't know if most churches do this or not. There was a little viewing area like downstairs for the parents to like see the rooms,
see
and, like, see their little kiddo play.
Yeah, I liked that too. To even just check and see if like they're okay still, like because if you get called or something down there, it's like you can quickly see like how it's going.
And Kyle, again, he had gone to like a very, very small church growing up, and one of the events that this church was putting on, it's not even an event, but it was like on their little handout this morning. It's like, hey, like we're preparing for Easter. We're doing like an all church clean out. If you have time and want to come help, we're just going to be cleaning. This
wasn't a small church either.
No.
I don't feel like I would call it a small church.
I feel like it's smaller than the church we attended previously.
They have 3 services though. But it was like packed.
Yeah.
At the one we were at, and I feel like ours was the early service.
Yeah, we went to
and
the
next
one.
service is supposed to be the packed,
the busy
service.
one.
And so I'm like I would say it's probably what, like 500, probably more than that.
Yeah, probably.
And that's a decent size to be like putting on those kinds of events. Was like really intentional.
Yeah.
Very detail oriented.
And same thing. I felt like that was very out of the norm of another church. Because when you see like opportunities to serve or to help, that's not even how they marketed it. It was literally just like, hey, we're cleaning and we would love the help.
Yeah.
Where I feel like
the time, come join.
Nor other, maybe more American larger churches that we have gone to in the past are very like, okay, we're putting on this wide cleanup serve, like we're gonna be taking pictures, here's your t-shirts, like go help.
Yes.
You know, and this was just very like
it's like a marketing opportunity almost. And this is like
didn't feel that way.
Again, I go back and forth on the marketing side of church because it's hard for me to recognize that like you should be advertising in the sense of like encouraging others to do the same and also like pulling people in that want to be at a church that does X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Like if they can see it in live action, like they might want to do that. And so I get that, but at the same time it does rub me the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. After service was hard. We because I left and I was like, again, on cloud 9, like I was like, oh my gosh, yay, like I love this. I feel like I can finally find a good in between for me. And I was really excited. I loved the people. I loved the heart behind all of it. Just very kind. And we get to the cars and I was like, what do you guys think? And you were like, And I, like, look at my husband, Joey, I'm like, what did you think? And he was like, I mean, like, I was uncomfortable, but, like, you know, I still feel like this is the place for us right now. And as soon as he said, like, I was uncomfortable, I just, like...
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, there's that. Like, I guess tossing in the towel on that one. I got really, really, like, disappointed and discouraged.
Why did you feel extra, like, disappointed or discouraged?
I just, like, I think for me, the hardest part is, like, I was looking at it as, like, this would be as close to an in-between for us as I could find. And so, like, you know, this is as close to, like, high church Protestant as I could get him to go to.
Yeah.
But it's still got a lot of the modern elements. And so I feel like it's the best middle ground. And so then for him to still say, like, oh, I didn't feel comfortable. And this was really hard because, again,
Yeah, the in-between.
I think it was a really good in-between. It was probably as close as I could get to having the high church that I could get him to go to while also still having a lot of modern elements. And so for him to still say, like, yeah, I was still uncomfortable, like, I think that made me really sad. Like, honestly, like, really sad because, like, again, this isn't even close to Catholic.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a middle ground.
Yeah.
And... yeah, so I just was like, I think I kind of started spiraling in the car, and I've been struggling too. Like, obviously, like, we've talked about it a little bit, but, like, I've been struggling mentally with, like, a lot of my stuff too. And when we got in the car, I remember he was, like, telling me his breakdown and, like, all the stuff he really, really liked about it and, like, why he wants to keep going. And I was just like, okay. And he was like, why don't you tell me what's going on? Like, what's going on in your head? And I was like... oh, I can't. And he was like, no, just, like, tell me. And so I said, and I was like, I'm just disappointed because blah, blah, blah. And I feel like we're just going to get stuck going to another church I don't like. And he got, like, upset. And he was like, why do you have to say it like that? And I was like, you just asked me to tell you what was going on in my head. I just did, and now you're mad at me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to share this anymore then.
Yeah.
And I just started, like, shutting down.
Yeah.
And so, like, we literally get home, and... so many miscommunications. This is like marriage in real time, bro. But like so many miscommunications happened where like I sat in the car like and I was like, I'm just gonna decompress and chill out and like recover my time. And so I sat in the car for like 10 minutes and just like checked my emails and balanced our budget and like did all the things that like help my gears shift and get back to like I'm okay. And he went inside, and then I come in, and Taylor's still up, so I put Taylor down, and then he goes into our room, and I'm like, okay, like, normally he falls asleep when Taylor takes a nap, and so I go out on the couch, and I sit out there, and it's been like an hour, and he comes out, and I'm like, oh, hi, and he was like, are you finally wanting to talk to me? And I was like, what? Oh. And he's like, well, you sat in the car because you were all mad, and I was like, no, I sat in the car because, like, I was decompressing, and I was like, I thought you were asleep, and he was like, that's why you left me alone the last hour? I was not sleeping. I was waiting for you to come talk to me, and I was like, oh. Yeah, no, I thought you were asleep, so I was leaving you be, and he was like, oh, okay. And so, like, we finally just sat down and, like, talked about all of it, and, like, why I was so anxious about all of this stuff, and, like, I just have such a fear of, like, church stuff now.
Yeah.
That it's so hard to even, like, I was excited and hopeful, and then to have that kind of, like, dimmer, now I'm stressed.
Now you're just stressed.
Now I'm just stressed about it.
Well, let's briefly touch on the main reason why. Why are we here trying a new church in the first place? You can talk about it as much as you want, or you don't have to talk about any of it.
Yeah.
You know? I want to know, why are we here looking for a new church?
Yeah.
Because that explains so much of the reason why you were extra stressed.
Yeah.
About it.
I'm trying to be careful, because again, I've cared about the church that we've been going to for a really long time. I like love them. I want them to succeed. I have so many people at that church that I like love and have great relationships with. But we've been having like issues.
Yeah.
Just like in and around the church for like a year now, which is crazy to even say out loud, a full year.
Yeah.
And it's just been really hard. And we've tried at like every step of the way to like just have honesty be like at the forefront and like communication, and had that reciprocated.
Yeah.
And so and there's been a lot of other issues with that as well, that like we've been kind of misrepresented. There's been like gossip that's happened and slander that's happened. And so like a lot of hurt, like a lot of like serious hurt from people that like are higher up in the church. And we've tried to do like all the right things, like taking it to leadership and trying to just have conversations and reconcile. And that's not gone well, for lots of different reasons. But to be honest, like a lot of it boils down to like, it's not that important to them.
Yeah.
Like we don't have the time. We don't really want to. I don't care to. And that's been really hard.
Yeah.
And so I've been kind of, again, like the last year, I've kind of been in this season of like, what's hurt me and what I felt is not important. It's not valid. Nobody cares about it. But we'll like say that we care, you know, but then not do the actual follow-up steps that show that you care.
That actually show.
And like, again, so a lot of that's like gaslighting too. Of the like me being like, I just feel like this and I don't understand why. And they're like, no, of course not. Like we care so much about you guys, and then ghost. And I'm like,
nothing else. Yeah.
Now I'm so confused. But then they come back and they're like, well, it's because of this. And I'm like, okay. Like, I guess that makes sense. So just having a lot of trust issues with like church, specifically Protestant church. And I think that's why I'm struggling with it, is like, there's no accountability for what I feel like. Because again, like calling in elders is like a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I feel like stuff should be handled, or being able to be handled, without having to call in elders.
Yeah.
Or elders should be aware of all of this stuff before I even have to bring it up to them.
Yeah.
So that's been really, really difficult. I'm really stressed and anxious about starting a new church because, again, everything looks so good from the outside.
Yeah.
Like this church that we had been going to, like we literally walked in and we were like, oh, like finally we can like be a part of a church for years. I don't care if we ever get a job here. I don't care if we ever get paid here. Like I just want to go to a church because I want to go. I don't want to go because of a job anymore. Because that's what my husband had been doing the entire time, was like going to this church because he got a job there, and going to this church because he got a job there. And I like flat out told him, I was like, I'm done. Like I want to go because I want to go. I want to be at a church, and if there's a job, cool. If there's not, cool.
Yeah.
And
I remember that because that's how we started attending the same church, because you guys were like, hey, like we're trying this one out, and we're really excited to, because it's not for a job. Like, come.
I was like, I just want to go because I like it. And so we were so hopeful, and like we put their sticker on our car. Yeah. Like I was so excited. I had never put a sticker on my car.
They were my first church car sticker too.
Yeah. And so I was really hopeful and really excited about all of it. And so then when all of this kind of stuff kind of came out of the woodwork, I'm like, why are people treating us this way? Why did this happen? This isn't appropriate. They shouldn't have said this. They should not have done this. It got to the point where I like kind of all of my hopes and dreams for the church just like crashed. Yeah. And again, there was a part of it where I like blamed, like low-key, I blamed my husband. I was like, if you weren't on worship, if you weren't behind the curtain, I never would have known about any of this. Yeah. And I never wanted to know about any of this. Yeah. Like, to be honest, I would have loved to just be a congregant and go and have no clue what's going on. Yeah. And then the guilt set in, because I was like, no, I should need to know about this, even if I was just a congregant. Being ignorant is not the same as there not being issues. Exactly. So it's been really hard. And again, like that church seemed so hopeful when we went. Yeah. And then to have it be where it's at now, where like we're not good with like most of the people that are like operating in that church. Yeah. Is hard, because it's not necessary. It was really hurtful. And so going to a new church, I'm just scared. Yeah.
Rightfully so. Yeah. I mean, you guys have literally been put through the ringer. And like, again, Kyla and I have just witnessed all the emotions and all the aftermath of everything. And so I understand the like, I understand this stress and being scared and being fearful of the idea of like, okay, I guess I have to go to a new church, open up to brand new people again. Like, you're like, we may have learned and we may have grown, but like, it's still us. And you're like, I'm just hoping I'm not met with the like, sorry, you don't fit in here, or whatever it may be.
I'm really anxious too, because like, even if like low key, I'm like, I don't want Joey to even mention that he can do worship because I don't want him to be asked. Like, I'm just done.
Yeah.
Which I know is not good. And, like,
No.
I know it's his ministry. And, like, not every church is going to treat us the same way, you know?
No, yeah.
But I literally want, and we talked about this too, but, like, if we start getting plugged in, I literally want to pull aside people and be like, that are, like, on the team and be like, by the way, we do a podcast. I hope this isn't an issue.
Yeah.
Because the way that was treated at the last place we were was, like, bizarre.
Yeah. This is also a reason, too, as to why Kyle and I are also wanting to attend this new church. And again, like,
Is it? I was curious about that.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't asked you. Like, I knew that we were just, like, we want to go
about it.
together. Like, wherever we go, we should go. But, like, what was your... Yeah, what was that had to do with it?
Again, Kyle and I weren't as plugged in or as involved in this last church. But it's like, we were there through everything with you guys, like all of it. And so we're like,
you were my text reader.
Everything.
You were literally my like, does this sound good?
Yeah,
like,
I was.
Here's the screenshots. Did I say this wrong? Like,
and so like, we're here like
everything.
Trying to help. And like I said, we were there through everything. And again, most of the behavior wasn't inherently anything towards us until probably more so recently. Again, like just here and there, like some things that started happening with like hearing stuff about our podcast. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That didn't make me feel good because I was like, you don't know me. You haven't talked to me. We haven't had a conversation prior at all. Like, you know anything about me. I don't even know if you know my name. Like, honestly. Yeah. So I think that was kind of one of the like Kyle and I just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, we didn't feel welcome by association. Like, and I was like, that doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah. I think the behavior around the podcast was really hard too because I was just so excited.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's something that's so embarrassing. Like, to be real with you, like, having a podcast is so embarrassing. Like any hobby, you know? That's like, fair. You're like, I do this thing. I really like it. I know that you might not, but, like it for me, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, having a podcast is really embarrassing because, like, again, like, we put it in our bio. We're, like, people's least favorite people talking about your favorite things. Like, we're not shy about the fact that, like, we've had awful things happen. We've had bad relationships. We've had bad situations happen in our life. And that's, like, hard to go through. And, like, that's why Holy Heck felt like the, like, perfect name for us. It was so cute. Like, even when we talked about it, we were like, oh, that's so cute. Because, like, you know, like, it's not a cuss word. But, like, it's kind of, like, the, like, cute girl version of a cuss word, which is like, what the heck?
Like, darn it. Well, again, like, I'm the type of person, I don't even curse in my head.
No.
Curse words don't even pop in my head.
No.
And so every so often I'm like, dang it, or like, what the heck? And it just felt cute. It felt very us. So, anyways.
It did. But to have the response be people being like I had a person where I, like, had brought it up, and they were like, oh, yeah, like, I heard you have a podcast. I heard it's called Holy Heck. And I was like,
tell me about that.
Well, I was like, yeah. Is that, why'd you say it like that?
Yeah.
Like, that's so weird. You weren't like, I heard it's called Holy Heck. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, yeah, I heard it's called this. And I was like,
why? Why did you say
why
it
is
like
that a problem? Like, the lead pastor is joking about, like, middle fingers on stage, and the associate pastor's making 420 jokes. Like, why are you getting all uppity about my name being Holy Heck? Like, and also, if you had a problem with it, coach me through it.
That's what I was just going to mention again, too, is, again, same thing. There was such an opportunity to be like, hey, let's talk about this. Like, we want to make sure,
guide me, disciple me, teach me, lead me.
This is done in, like, the most biblical way we can do it. And again, that's been our intention the whole time with this podcast. Is the reason I was so for filming this episode today and talking about it is because me, myself, as a podcast listener, I, like, want to hear about the now.
Yeah.
I want to hear about the why. I want to hear about the problems. I want to hear about life.
Yeah.
Good, bad, in the messy, period. And, like, that's what we want this podcast to be. Of, like, we've had wonderful experiences at this last church and so many ups and then, unfortunately, so many downs.
Yeah.
And what we've been really scared of is I've had people in my life be church cherry pickers of the, like, oh, actually, like, I didn't like the way this pastor looks, so I'm going to go to a different one. Or, like, they weren't, like, in enough for me, like as trendy as I want, so I'm gonna go to this one.
Yeah.
And so I think that's always been a fear in the back of my head, and I mean, like, maybe in the back of your head too, of like being labeled as a cherry picker.
Yeah.
But we had talked about in a couple episodes past of like, what is that line
Yeah.
of like actually like, okay, like I think we are gonna look for a new church.
The timing of all of this has been so nuts to me, honestly, because we filmed things right before the things happen, and then we're like, I just talked about how this should be my response, so what am I gonna do?
Exactly. So it's been a very humbling, but also a really unique experience to be able to come here and like chat about things and issues and hard stuff and what we're doing. So to be honest, was there a point in this whole situation where you would have been fine staying at that church? Or like, what was the straw that kind of made you guys especially be like, I think we're like, I think we're ready to look for a new church. And also I want to hear about how the Lord gave you guys the green light to go look for a new church.
Oh, again, trying not to get into too many details here. Gosh. So to be clear, so my husband was doing worship and helping, and he would have done that for forever for free. Like, we had talked about that, and that was something that, like, even going to this church, like deciding not to continue at our last church meant he was resigning. Going without income. So we had the hard conversation already about like, what does this income look like? And I was like, it's ministry. So like, it's free. Like, I'm not expecting an income from this. I'm not expecting a job from this. Like, it's something that we sacrifice for. And I want that to be the heart of us. And I want us to go through a season of growth where we do sacrifice that for God.
Yeah.
Because he had church jobs nonstop. And I was like, I want this to be a season where you are just serving. You are volunteer, and you are like doing it for the heart.
Yeah.
It was so wonderful. There was so much growth in him in that season. And so we had been doing that for a while. They had decided to like give commission pay for like a little bit here and there and stuff like that, for a lot of the ministry that he was doing, which is fine. But there was a job opening that was coming up, and we talked about it because when it got posted, it was full time, and that's not something that we like were ever really okay with. But at the same time, we were in a position of like if God's asking us to, like, we'll sacrifice whatever it is. I was hoping it wouldn't be like that, but like if it is, it is. Doesn't really matter. Like, if we feel like this is where God's called us to be, or the ministry that God's called us to be a part of, then like that's what we'll do. And he didn't get the job, and it was a very odd situation. Like, even from that get-go, like, I like remember texting people being like, is everything okay? Because like, I feel like people hate us, and I don't understand what just happened. Like, this is super bizarre, like the way that we were being treated and stuff. And I was like, if you guys feel weird about us not getting the job, like, it's okay. Like, we're fine. Like, obviously it sucks, but like, we're good. Like, I think when he found out he didn't get the job, he had to serve on main stage that weekend, which was really hard.
I remember that.
But like, after that, like, literally he got off stage and he was crying. And I remember him being like, no, I'm okay. And I remember like that night too, like he had come home and I was like, we're fine. Like, it's sad, it hurts, not in the aspect of like we're missing out on something, but like on the aspect of like this could be potentially the end of like him serving in this capacity. We didn't know what it looked like. And so there was just kind of that grief with like potentially losing a ministry. But like, we were literally like, I remember sitting him down and being like, Joey, like, I just want to be here. I don't really care what aspect that looks like. It doesn't have to be in a full capacity, but like, if there's somebody new that gets hired on for this position, like, let's invite them over. Let's have them over. Like, let's meet them and their spouse and their kids and like just get to know them and do ministry together. Like, I really was over the loss at this point. Like, I had been like, I just care about ministry and I want to do this together and like just get over this, because like, I don't want there to be any weirdness with like the new person that gets hired, because I've seen that already at old churches and it causes all this bitterness and splitting, and I just don't care to be a part of it. And I was like, let's just invite them over and like just be ministry partners together. Yeah. You know? And so I had actually like gotten to a point where I was anxious and nervous for like who was picked for that or like why. But I was excited because like either way, I knew that like we would be fine. We would get through this. We would be like at this church still. That's not the end of our serving here. And so that was fine. And then they called us to tell us that they hired on people that we had a falling out with pretty severely. And like continued to have a falling out with. And it was not good. And these were people that had like said not great things about us to people around us and like hurt us in a lot of other ways. And so we were now faced with a completely new problem, because these weren't people we were going to invite over. These weren't people we were going to connect with. I did not want to talk to these people ever again in my entire life. And I was really shocked that the church hired them. Because the church was fully well aware of like the things that they had done and said and all that. So I was just like really in a state of shock and disbelief. And I think a lot of my trust stopped there.
Yeah.
Because there was, again, like we had meetings and all this kind of stuff, and I was like bold-faced lied to. Like there was multiple times where people were like, oh, I never said that. And I was like, it was here on our couch at this time, you said this. Like, dude, why?
Yeah.
So I think I think that was probably the point that I was like, I can't do that. I don't trust the leadership anymore, because they're like making choices that even if they talked me through it, like don't add up to me. And they've also like massively broken my trust and respect. Like I just don't respect these people anymore. And everything that happened after that was also like just doubling down on that.
Yeah.
So I think that like that was the point that I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore or go here anymore. But we had still said like I don't feel the green light to leave. Like what the heck? I think the green light to leave was literally, we had heard like all of this happened months ago.
Yeah.
At this point, like it was done. Like what was done was done. They hired on the people. It was whatever. We're like, okay, Joey made the choice. He was like, I'm not comfortable in this anymore. Like I am done serving. Like I just don't feel comfortable worshiping in this setting. And so he'd made the choice to step down, but we were like, that's fine. Like we're going to keep going. We were part of like other groups and stuff like that. And we were like, we kept going to those. And so like the dust was settling, like it was in the process of settling. And we were hearing from other people that like these leadership or staff members are still continuing to like share this information and details about this information that paint Joey and I in a very negative light to people close to us again.
Yeah.
That felt like the green light to me.
Yeah.
That felt like this is not healthy.
Oh, yeah.
There's no aspect of this that's going to be healthy anymore.
Yeah.
I can't continue to put myself in this situation and expect them to like care about me.
Yeah. Treat
me with respect or love and submit to God.
Yeah.
And I like just needed one of them, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It was just really, really hard. And so I think that kind of was the green light, was like just the continued like kind of disrespect of like we had again, no one freaking knew about any of this stuff that's been going on for like a year.
Yeah.
Besides like our very close family and
us.
And you.
Yeah.
There was like a couple other friends that we had talked to, but like nobody that was like mutual to any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just been really hard. Like we hadn't shared any of the details, but then we're hearing that like other people are going around sharing stuff. And so that was definitely, to me, I was like, I gave them so much respect and trust, and I like believed that they would do the best, and like they actually cared about us and X, Y, and Z. But again, they're showing me time and time again they don't. They have a viewpoint of me that's like really harsh and unkind, and they're not asking questions. They're just kind of running with what the narrative is that they want to make up that fits their desires best.
Yeah.
And they're not being kind. And so I kind of hit the point where like when you asked me to talk about it, I was like, I don't know. And you were like, is it out of fear? And I was like, yeah, because I've been painted as X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. I wanted to challenge that because like, again, of course these details and these things are really important, but the like core of really what I want to talk about and get to in this episode is for people who have had something similar happen to them. What on earth, like, is there any bit of advice we can give them?
Yeah.
Is there anything we can, like, suggest and talk about? Whether it's, like, maybe steps to take and who to go talk to, how to go talk to them, and, like, a little assurance of, like, how can we encourage you to be praying? And if you're like seeking that green light of like, maybe it is time to go, or like, hey, like maybe something did happen in your church and maybe I should be talking about it. Because that was my biggest thing of like seeing this happen. It had felt like to me that they were kind of like, oh yeah, we're taking care of this, but don't tell anybody about it because we got it. When I'm like, wait. At first I was like, oh no, that makes sense. But then I feel like that similar thing was being pushed time and time again, that I'm like, now it feels like it's coming from a place of like, oh, we actually don't want anybody else to find out about this kind of messy situation. Yeah. And so we kind of want to save our face. And so like, we got it. Anyways. And so that's the point that it hit, that I was like, no, I actually think we should talk about this, because this is the point where you guys are coming to and you're like, man, this sucks that this has happened. Like, I'm ready to go look for a new church. Yeah. But now going and looking for a new church, seeing you after service today, like you were anxious. Like you were like, we were stressed. We had a conversation a couple of days ago of like, why are we nervous to go try a new church?
Oh, this is the hardest thing, was like when we have wonderful friends in the church that like have been guiding us and mentoring us through all of this. And they were like, we just really want to encourage you guys to not feel like everyone is talking about you. And I like remember being like, I really appreciate that. However, I've got the receipts that they are. And like, I'm going with the expectation that nobody is. Yeah. But I'm being proved wrong every time. Yeah. And so like, there is a level of like super freaking huge anxiety of like, even walking into a church, I'm like, well, has this pastor talked to this person and this person and this person? And are they sharing X, Y, and Z?
Do they think I'm blah, blah, blah? Like,
like it's just, like there's so much anxiety. And like, again, I think that the hardest part of all of this for me, I'm going to try not to cry. The hardest part about all of this for me is that I have tried so hard at every single step and point to love and believe the best in people and trust them and like give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, I think I like literally convinced myself of like the worst case scenario possible ever to just believe that that's like the reason why this person would say this or do this or X, Y, and Z, just to like give them the benefit of the doubt and like give them something that made sense to justify how they could treat me this way or believe this or do this or share this. And it's just not been true. Like, I've been proved over and over again that like that wasn't true. They just did it because they weren't careful or they didn't care. They weren't being thoughtful and they didn't care. They didn't think about us. And so I'm really anxious to step into another atmosphere where that could still be happening. And like, you know, even if there's any connective tissue that like people are talking about it and talking about me or my husband, and that's just hard.
It's really scary.
It is. It's,
With that in mind, now knowing all of that, why was this church that we tried today? Like, why did that give you hope? Why did it give you hope? And why did you want to try it in the first place? And like, what about it that this church was like, I mean, we know like it was the in-between of the styles of churches. But
I don't know. I think there's still, my husband said it too when he left. I think the reason he said he felt uncomfortable was he's also anxious. I think there's a lot of trust that was broken for him as well. Like the churches that he had back in New York that he was a part of were so healthy in their own way, but like unhealthy. And like, he told me today, he was like, man, if my old pastor heard what this other pastor did, he'd punch him in the head. And I was like, you can't say that. And he was like, no, but really, he like, you know, the churches that he was a part of were like radical accountability. You talk about everything. Like, if you've got an issue, you tell me. And so there was so, like, it wasn't closed door. It wasn't there's a curtain. It wasn't, you know, you can talk to my assistant. And so I think that he has a lot of anxiety about that going into this church. And like, to be honest, we don't know what this church is. I don't want to like make any assumptions. And I try and stay really far away from like why people do what they do or like assuming the worst.
We don't know.
Because I just don't know. But yeah, I think he's got a lot of anxiety on that aspect of like, what if behind the curtain it's just as bad? What if it's just as unhealthy? What if there's issues? Like, what if I join and the worship team and there's like all this beef people are not talking about? I don't want to be a part of it again. And I think for me, the thing that gave me hope was they talked really openly about things, and the people that I do know that have been going there or that are on staff or volunteering like heavily have like openly said like, this is the healthiest place I've seen.
That's awesome.
And they've seen the bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm like kind of hopeful.
Yeah, it's hopeful.
But I'm also, that makes me terrified as well of like,
course.
am I going to let my guard down and is this crud going to happen again?
Of course.
So.
I mean, that in itself is like.
Yeah.
A picture of what Christ does for us all day, every day, in every person. Like,
yeah.
Again, I'm really sorry for this whole situation.
No, it's okay.
It's like been awful to watch you guys go through.
Yeah.
But it has been also kind of redeeming in some areas to see what he's taught you. And again, like I'll have you describe it.
So much growth.
I'll have you describe it. But when we went on a hike a couple weeks ago and we were walking and you were like, this has taught me so much about grief.
Yeah.
Touch on that. What do you mean?
Oh man, I think that I've never experienced grief like this in my life. And I think that that's because I've always chalked it up to like when problems happen, like it's either a non-believer or it's somebody that like says they're a believer, but like is not.
Yeah.
Never have I had somebody that's like on staff at a church treat me the way that we've been treated. And so I like literally short-circuited. Like I did not know how to function. Like I was like, I can't claim that they're not a believer because they're on staff at a church. But also, so what does that mean?
Yeah,
what are the ramifications of that? Like, does that mean that like they're more in tune with God than I am, and so like they're right about everything that they're saying? And so then I just went extremely introspective and self-critical, and I think that caused so much pain because I literally, I don't know how to describe it, but 21 Pilots does a really good job of displaying what like mental health issues look like. And there's one video, Guns for Hands, that he does, and if you look it up, like you'll get it. He like portrays what the short circuiting of like mental illness looks like for me so well. Is like he's literally just like glitching and like slamming his head, and like that's what it felt like to me. Is I literally was like, I can't fix it, and I would just like repeat that like 20 times in a row and start sobbing and like, I can't fix it, like there's nothing I can do anymore. I don't know what I can do to fix it. And I would replay everything in my head to be like, why am I treated this way? What happened? I must have done something because they're saying I did something. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And so I got so self-examining and self-critical, and it caused so much pain and grief. And that's when like the depression swept in really fast. I was like, something's wrong with me and something's wrong with my brain because I can't understand what went wrong or what I did. And I don't understand. Nobody's telling me either. Yeah. There's so much of this, like everybody was saying, well, I don't think it's fruitful to talk. I don't think it's fruitful to tell you why or tell you what. And so I'm just sitting here with nothing. Like I've been given nothing for almost a full year as to like why all of this stuff happened.
It's a long time.
It is. And to sit with no answers, but continued pain and punishment. And so, yeah, like the depression swept in fast to be like, I must be like the worst person on earth and I have no idea. But like, I have to be. And so like the grief hit really hard too of the like, just so much pain, so much grief. And that perspective, I think it taught me a lot about how to sit with somebody in their grief, how to care with somebody that's like grieving, and also how to be really, really careful about how I treat other people, like having sympathy and empathy, because I understand what it feels like to not have answers or to not have clear communication or to have assumptions made about me, to not have people question things, to not have people say like, hey, my assumption's this, but like, I just want to clarify. Why did you do this? Or why did this happen? Like asking questions has become so pivotal to me now because I understand that running with assumptions is like literally the worst thing that you could do on earth.
Yeah.
So I think that gave me such a heart for like people in grief as well, of like in their lowest point. And that made me really critical of the church, I think, because I realized that like if we continue touting like, oh, we're here for like all of life's hardships, we're here because we're really messed up people and like we're just so sad and depressed and we all are real people, you know? But you're not doing anything about that.
Yeah.
What does that matter?
Yeah.
That you're just going to sit there and tell people like, oh, I care so much. But then you're telling people on the prayer team, like, I'm sorry, but you can't sit with them because that's going to encourage longer conversations.
Yeah, that. was wild to me.
Listen, I get it. I know there's security reasons. I understand the modern problems require modern solutions. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But if I were treated like cattle in that situation and I walked, I haven't. I've never walked up to have prayer happen to me at church, even though I have needed it desperately. And the reason I haven't is because I know I will be treated like that. I'll be treated like cattle. Somebody's going to take a picture of me. Disgusting, for one. Two, nobody's going to like sit there and like actually sit with me and have a conversation with me. They're just going to be like, okay, I'll pray for you.
Yeah.
You know? And that's not genuine.
No.
It's just not. And I want somebody to be like, whoa, hey, okay, let's go talk.
Yeah.
Like, let's go talk. Let's go sit. You want to sit outside? Let's go on a walk.
Yeah.
You want to go on a walk? Like, do you know how much that would have meant to me as a person if like somebody in my church sat there and was like, let's go talk. Like, I want to hear what's going on. Let me pray for you. But like, I want to know you. I want to hear you. And that just sucks, man.
Yeah, I at this past church, I can't lump them all together, but now knowing the like quote unquote guidelines for being on the prayer ministry, I had gone up and asked for prayer once about a family member. And again, this was like taking a lot out of me to do anyways. And I remember
it's embarrassing.
It kind of is.
Like,
and I like it shouldn't be, but it is.
But they all watch you and they've all got cameras.
And I did it. And I remember I left, and instead of being so like, man, I'm really glad I did that, I was like, I feel more awkward.
Really?
Because it was just very generic. It was very vague. And again, and part of that could have been on like me and Kyle for not getting as involved in the church as we could have. But again, it just was very like, this random person just prayed for me. And I feel like I just shared too much information that I should have with a stranger. Like, you know, when you have moments in your life and you accidentally do that, like that's how it felt. Walking away, I was like, ugh.
But to like reverse this, I don't ever want to be that to somebody else.
No.
If I'm serving in a church, like, honestly, to heck with the rules. Like, let's go outside. Let's go on a walk.
Yeah.
Here's my phone number. And let's go get coffee. Like, be the church.
We've talked about this so often. What does being the actual hands and feet of Jesus look like?
Does not look like treating people like cattle.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah. It's been a hard season. I'm anxious about trying something new. I'm anxious to talk about any of this because, again, I have been told not to talk about details, and I haven't. I feel like I've got so much anxiety even talking about what's been going on because over and over again we've been told like we are not allowed to. And I think I sat down and had coffee with a gal who I've been talking with about this kind of stuff, and she literally was like, that feels really unhealthy. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, I feel very uncomfortable being a congregant of a church knowing that they're asking people not to talk about poor behavior in the church. And I was like, yeah, I get that, but I also like, you know, like it was this in between of like,
and that's the point that I had hit, and that both Kyle and I were like, that's when we both were like no longer feeling the like stay at this church. It was more of like, hey, like a door's open if you want to go check that one out. And so it's just been, like I said, really strange to watch. It's been really sad to watch, but also like even just like seeing this come about. I know this is like kind of maybe a strange way to put this or say, it's made like our relationship so much stronger. It's taught me so much about grief in a friendship. It's taught me so much on how to walk through with a friend going through hard times. It has also been such a testament to you and your character, as like every single thing that would come up, never once did I see you like, well, I'm gonna go straight to this person, blah, 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 blah. It was always like, I have emotions and they're strong. Let me feel them for my 2 minutes. But then like ultimately, like, what does the Bible say about this? And how do I go about this biblically? And I think that was like the awakening for me too, of seeing how diligent you both were like seeking biblical reconciliation and doing it so biblically, and to like get met with just like a complete brick wall was so strange to me.
Yeah. It was really hurtful too. Because I think there was a lot of, again, self-critical.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times where I would sit there and like look at the fruits of the Spirit and be like, joy, I don't have joy. Peace, I don't have peace. Kindness, I don't have kindness. Like I would just feel empty of like all of these characteristics. And then when I would read about Jesus, I was like, joy, somehow. Peace, somehow. Kindness, somehow. Like, the definitions that we use for those things, they don't appear in this, like, perfect, happy, kind, nice person all the time. And I think that there was a lot of comfort in recognizing that, like, I'm not a bad Christian for struggling. I'm just not. And, like, that was really hard to reconcile because, again, I'm, like, up against a church. That's terrifying. Like, I'm a congregant. I've always been a congregant my whole life. I've never been a staff. I haven't even been, like, a volunteer, like, significantly in my life. Like, I've just always been a congregant. And so to, like, go up against a church.
And all of a sudden have all these eyes on you.
Yeah, I'm, like, constantly being watched for, like, every little thing that I am doing. Like, even with the podcast stuff, like, it's, like, anxiety driving. Like, I'm sitting there, like, freaking out at night, being like, why are these people treating me this way? Why are they watching me like this? Why are they talking about me like this? Why are they behaving this way? Like, it makes me so uncomfortable. And, like, all I needed was a church that, like, cared about me and was just like, hey, like, we know that stuff's been tough. Like, why don't we go out? Why don't we go out? Let's go get a picnic, or, like, let's go on a walk, or let's go to the park, or let's go on a hike. Like,
let's talk.
I want to get to know you. Let's talk about it. And if you're in grief, I want to hear it. I was not met with any of that. And, like, that was not for lack of trying. And I think that's the hard part is, like, every little thing that I've been struggling with has kind of been flipped back on me on, like, oh, well, like, you don't have peace.
Bummer.
That's on you. And I'm like, no, but I'm seeking it. And you guys are saying no.
Help me, guide me through this.
Yeah, like, counsel me, disciple me, lead me. And I was met with, like, I shouldn't have to. And I was like, oh, fair.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Like,
but you should want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really anxious. I am teetering on hopefulness, which is exciting to feel for the first time in, like, a year.
It has been such a relief to see, like, the moment you guys got that green light of, like, I think we're gonna try a different church, to physically see the weight off your guys' shoulders.
Do you know what it was?
Something I hadn't seen in a full year.
You know what it was? I just remembered what exactly the moment was that I felt the green light. We were in New York for, just a break vacation.
Yeah. Okay.
And we had met up with old friends that we, like, got to rekindle with and, like, have a great conversation with. And there was so much that had happened to both of us in the last year, and we were finally getting to, like, share everything. And I remember, like, the husband of, like, the wife, like, looked at me and was just like, I have seen so much growth in you guys, and, like, honestly, like, I'm so proud of you guys. And seeing your obedience to Christ has, like, inspired me, and I just feel so hopeful. And him saying that to me, and, like, and you and your encouragement has made me feel like, oh, I'm, like, not the problem. I don't have to blame myself every single day for every little thing anymore. And, like, even saying that makes me feel terrified to say, because, again, I never want to be the person that says I'm not the problem. Like, I'm the first person to apologize. And you know what my apologies mean. Like, I am so deeply sorry. I regret ever doing anything. And if I could go back in time, I probably never would have, like, ever talked to the church about anything that was going on, because I regret everything that happened after that. I feel so, like, if I could just wipe all of that away, I would in an instant. And I can't. And I tried really hard to biblically do things. And again, ignorance does not equate health. And so I'm aware that, like, even if I didn't talk to the church, like, that doesn't mean the unhealth would not still be there. But I just felt so relieved knowing that other people could see our hearts that had not seen us in a year, that weren't, like, watching us every step of the way. Like, you're seeing every little detail behind the curtain. They're just seeing our heart's outward attitude. And they're like, no, like, I see it. And I felt so encouraged by that. And so I think that was, like, the little instant that I was like, like, getting out of the chaos does allow me to grow. And there was growth in the chaos. There was so much growth. There was so much pruning. There was so much I learned. There was so much compassion and empathy and, like, hard life struggles that I was able to go through and have knowledge for if somebody else I run into has the same issue, I like know how to help now, which is so beautiful and, like, so wonderful that I have those tools. And at the same time, I don't have to stay in it in order to grow again. Like, I can go somewhere else and grow more now.
Yeah.
And so,
That's really encouraging and beautiful to hear. Thank you for talking about all this. I know it's not easy.
Yeah, I'm so
and
freaked.
I guess, like, I am too. So we'll have to update you guys on just where things go next. And even, like, taking a leap of faith here, talking about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because, like I said in the beginning, I want this to be raw and open and honest.
Yeah. I've always been an open book, too.
You are.
So
you
authentic. So it's felt so bizarre to, like, literally pretend like nothing's happening for the last year.
I know.
Yeah.
Moving forward with, like, people who may be struggling with something similar or, like, they may see something and they don't know what to do, what advice or encouragement can you give them?
It's a hard one because I feel like, again, you're signing yourself up for, like, potentially a lot of pain and problems.
Yeah.
But just seek biblical counsel.
Yeah.
Like, seek help from your church. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Try to trust them. And if they prove that, like, they don't care about accountability or they're not, like, going to handle it well, go above them.
Yeah.
And if you hit a point where
Matthew 18,
there's nothing left to do, wipe your hands clean, shake the dust off, and move on. Like, you've done your best. And I genuinely believe that because I like put myself in the perspective of, like, if I was at a church and I was in a higher up position or in a staff and I wasn't aware of this stuff, I would want to be aware. I would want to know. I'd want to be able to, like, help root out the issues and, like, create reconciliation in a genuine, healthy way. And that can't happen if people don't speak up and say what is going on and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And if they don't say anything that's going on, we get Hillsongs. We get Bethels. We get churches that are so above reproach that it's rotten on the inside.
Because they know they can't be touched.
They can't be touched. And I never want to be a part of a church that's untouchable.
We want a church to keep their humanity.
Yeah, and keep your humility.
Yeah.
Keep your accountability.
Yeah,
and so,
all
like,
of it.
my encouragement for congregants and for staff members, if you're listening to this, is, like, listen to the people around you. Take them seriously. Go talk to them. Try and fix your church and be a part of your church in a way that's healthy. Be the actual hands and feet of Jesus. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah. That's, like, I know it sounds weird, and I know this is, like, crazy for me to say, or maybe crazy for you to hear, but again, like, the growth and the insane, like, beauty I've seen sprout from this is wild.
Yeah. I think that I've dipped my toe in, like, actual rock bottom. But I think I've talked about it before, too, is, like, I've hit rock bottom, and it just keeps going, and it just keeps going. And now that I'm, like, sort of climbing up, I feel like I've, like, tasted it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, maybe just a little, like, salt lamp lick. It's disgusting, you know? It's horrible.
You're like, I'm climbing out.
Yeah, but it gives me so much perspective on, like, how to genuinely care about people. And I think one of the action steps I had said I really want to do is I want to start taking flowers to grave sites and, I'm going to cry. And, like, dropping them off at the babies' grave sites or, like, the kids. Because I know for a fact those grave sites are being visited weekly, if not daily, by grieving people. And I know that me showing them that, like, I also see them in their grief and I'm here would mean so much. Because if I, like, ran across that and I knew somebody else cared enough to show me that they were there, I'd feel less alone. And so, like, it's such a great opportunity to, like, be able to, like, meet people at the lowest point that they're at and, like,
show them the best thing ever, literally the love of Christ.
Yeah, literally. Like, Jesus meets us at the lowest point that we've ever been at. And if we're called to be Jesus, like, why are we not doing that?
Yeah.
Why are we not going and meeting people at their lowest point?
Yeah.
And not with, like, a Bible to slap them with, but with, like, love.
Open arms. Yeah.
So it's given me so much perspective for that and such a heart and, like, love for people that are just in deep grief.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Ugh. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Open your Bibles, people. Go check up on your friends.
Yeah.
and just sit with people, love people.
Yeah.
Be the hands and feet of Jesus, man. All of it.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for listening in and just all of it. We appreciate you guys so much for everything and love what this podcast has done and how it's pruned and shaped us. We will see you in 2 weeks for episode 9.
9.
Jeez, crazy. Almost there. Well, alrighty. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.